back to my channel. So today I'm going to be creating this pirate look. First, you're going to need a piece of paper and pen to draw out the eye patch that you're going to be creating. Of course, you're going to need trusty old liquid latex. This is like the best thing to have for any Halloween tutorial. Make sure to have some Vaseline on hand so that you don't rip off any of your hair that you want to still keep. And also let's get some eyelash glue because that'll help a ton. I'm going to be using this injury stack that I got from Walmart. I love it because it makes very realistic injury looks. Now to create the injury, I'm not going to use cotton this time. I'm going to use toilet paper or Kleenex. You can use either one, so it is really your choice or whatever you have. So to get started, I'm going to just put the paper over my eye and with the pen kind of go over the orbital bone and just draw that out. Make sure to draw it out a little large because you want to make sure that it goes out a little bit more than the orbital bone because you want to give it a little flexibility, and especially when you're going to be laying down the tissue paper or toilet paper, whichever you chose to go with, you're going to be laying that down. Make sure to crumple it up as well to give it a little bit more flexibility so when you make any type of expression, the paper doesn't lift. Very important, apply this Vaseline over the brows so that when you do take off your creation, for the night or from the night, your hairs remain in place. I decided to add some lash glue because I figure that would be my best bet in order to not to rip off any of my eyebrows. As it is, I don't have much, so don't want to lose what I do have. So now once that has gotten a little bit tacky, I'm just going to apply the paper patch over the eye, and this is what it would look like. So as you can see, the edges are quite clean cut and we don't want that. So make sure to rip up pieces of your toilet paper, apply some liquid latex with a sponge around the orbital bone going over the paper and onto your skin because you're going to be laying the tissue paper over all of that. Just to cover everything up and not make it look so perfect, this is going to give the orbital bone a little bit of a rigid edge and something a little bit more realistic to work with. So yeah, as you can see, the edges of the paper are kind of ripped up and not perfectly straight, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Make sure to add the paper, and don't worry, the first layer is going to be quite thin because it is a toilet paper. You're going to be adding multiple layers of this. So just make sure to add a little bit more liquid latex over that first layer and just keep applying multiple layers until you feel it looks good. Once it is dry or you've added enough, you can see that in the middle section where the paper was, there is a lot of texture, and you really want to do that because when you work with your paints, you don't want it to look very flat dimensional. You want it to have a little bit of texture in the middle because that's where the eye supposedly came off, and you want it to look quite gruesome. So that is why I'm adding more latex and more tissue over the patch as well so it looks more realistic. Now, because I want to add a little bit of a scar, kind of like the face got whipped with a whip, I am adding some more tissue going down, something a little bit more long, and just applying liquid latex over that so that it sticks onto the skin nicely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to saturate that paper and I'm going to start molding it with my fingers to the design that I want. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a not perfectly lined scar. I want it to look a little bit crooked, but in the center you want to make sure to leave a little bit of a gap because that's where you're going to be adding some blood. As you can see, I'm making that little opening in the middle of the paper and just ripping off anything that I don't want. I did add a second layer because again, the toilet paper is quite thin, so I wanted to add another layer so it looked a little bit raised on the sides, and I'm cutting that with my nail, as you can see, making it that opening, and it's not perfectly straight. It seems like it has a curvature to it because when my scar healed, it healed a little bit, you know, curvy. Now to blend everything together, I'm just going to use this foundation. This is by L'Oreal. It's the L'Oreal True Match Foundation, and it's actually one of my favorite foundations from the drugstore. I love actually wearing this in the winter because my face is oily, and in the winter, my face gets a little bit dry, and I feel like this foundation looks great during the winter with my skin type in particular. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that all over my face. And once I have done that, I'm going to use that same foundation over the injury that I have. And I'm just using a stippled brush from Makeup Geek to just make sure that the foundation gets in all the little crevices, all the little nooks and crannies of that injury there. To set that foundation, I'm just going to use a powder. I'm just using the Airspun powder and setting all of that on there. Then using some black paint, I'm going to start drawing out the eye area, which is where my eyeball, you know, popped off during battle from ship to ship. Now to make everything blend out a little bit more, obviously you can totally see all of that tissue paper. I'm going to add some color and some dimension. This is again from the injury stack from Walmart. I think that this little injury stack is freaking amazing. And I'm just outlining with the green shade all around the scarred looking, you know, situation I got going on. Then to add a little bit more texture, more dimension, I'm using the purple because obviously this injury is bruised and swollen and, you know, just gruesome looking. So I'm just adding this purple and giving it a little bit more color. Now in that opening that I had created with my nails, I'm adding this red and it's a little bit dark. So this just shows where I was hit with a whip and lost my eye in battle again. And yeah, just adding this blood looking injury. But because I want it to look a little bit more gruesome, especially the darkened eye area, I'm going to use this gel blood and just applying it all over the eye where I lost it. But I decided to also add some within that mark that I created, that scar looking part. And on the top, some of it dripped. I'm going to clean that off. I didn't like the dripping part, but you can leave it like that if you want to add some, you know, dripping blood. Then I'm just going in and adding a little bit more bruising around that eye area, and the other side of my face is obviously going to look a little bit more glammy. So I'm going to give myself a smoky eye look with some black shadow. I'm also going to be adding some black liner on my waterline, and I'm going to smudge it out and add a little bit more black on the bottom as well, just to make it look more piratey. I'm going to give myself a winged liner just with this pencil, nothing too perfect because, again, you know, it's a pirate. I don't think they really care what they look like, honestly. At least not from what I've seen from them Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But anyways, I'm going to make my face look a little bit more sunken in. I'm not going to use a brown contour shade. I'm actually using a black shadow. And I'm just creating something very deep. Because of the black, I feel like it makes it look quite deeper than a regular brown shade. Plus, it also gives it kind of like a dirty look, which a pirate, I feel, are dirty people. And I'm just going to add this under the lip area, around my chin, down my jawline, just to give it a little bit more of a contour thing. And because I want my body to look a little skinny, I'm going to add some of that black shadow on my collarbone and make it look like I haven't eaten in quite a while. So that is what I'm doing there. As you can see, adding that black makes that my collarbone pop out quite a lot, and honestly I like that look, so I don't know, might have to do that more often. Just kidding. Anyways, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to add it there where I see any type of bone structure. I just add a little bit of darkness to it and it just makes everything pop out nicely. Make sure to fill in your brows, of course. I'm going to add a set of lashes, or just one lash, because obviously I lost my other eye. Then I'm going to add this liquid lipstick by Jeffree Star, and it's a nice dark one. So that's why I decided to go with it. So this completes the look, guys. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I had so much fun creating it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. That all is at ExquisiteGlow. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye, guys. Mwah.